That tends to be a little bit easier. You're a little bit more comfortable with this. All right, what I want you to do in this one, and this is again following procedure a little bit. What divided by 8 equals 4? You might know that off the top of your head. You might not, a little bit hard, but here's how I want you to write this. You don't have a lot of room, but underneath it, rewrite the problem just as it is. X divided by 8 equals 4, please. All right, to solve this, if we're dividing by a number, to undo it, we have to multiply by that number. So here's what you do. And this is the one case I don't want you to do underneath. I want to do it to the side when I multiply. You are going to multiply both sides by what number? If we're dividing by 8, we want to multiply both sides by 8. That's going to undo it. So to show that, you just put the 8 beside it and put it in parentheses. Put it in parentheses. What is x? What is 8 times x over 8 equal? Now that's really the same as 8 times 1/8. And really what happens is you multiply across and you get 8 over 8, which is just what? What does it become? 1. Also, you can think of this as anytime this is a number on top and this is a number on the bottom, these numbers cancel. And they just leave you x. So when I multiply that, that takes away that 8. What do I get on the other side? 4 times 8, which is 32. Now, how do I know I'm right? You check it. Now I'm just going to do a quick check here. X over 8 equals 4. That becomes 32 over 8, which is 4. So I know I'm right. All right, y over 5 equals negative 12. For these, I want you to go ahead and so that I can, because I didn't leave you a lot of room. Multiply on the sides. This is the only time I'm going to do it on the sides. And in this case here, what should I multiply by, Josh? Multiply both sides by 5. So put it over here on the side, put it over here on the side. The 5's cancel, and you're left with y equals negative 12 times 5. Preston, let me know what you get for that.
Negative 60.
Negative 60. Okay, negative 60 is correct. Okay, negative 60. All right, now for that third one. Now, what's missing on your paper? It's not written down, so fill it in. Should be a what? 16, so put that in there. So m over negative 3 equals 16. I'm going to, again, write it right underneath it. M divided by negative 3 equals 16. Brett Lightsing, what do you think we multiply both sides by? Negative 3. So put it right beside it. Negative 3 on the left, negative 3 on the right. Those cancel. You're left with m equals negative 48. M equals negative 48. So if we're multiplying or if we're dividing by a constant, we multiply both sides by a constant. If we're multiplying, then we divide for that. Now, before we get into the next one, let's just pay attention. This isn't one on your sheet. Okay. What do we do when it's a fraction? Okay, if I got 5, 6w equals negative 20, what are they doing to get rid of the 5, 6? Okay, I just want you to pay attention. If this is a 5, 6, they're multiplying both sides by 6 over 5. Here's why, because 5 over 6 times 5 and 5 times 6 is both 30. We go around. And we switch some seats around. And here's the guy that knows. So you are right there. Okay. So this will basically cancel and leave you w. So if you have a fraction, you want to multiply both sides by whatever that fraction is. Okay? So I got 16w equals 102. Flip the fraction. What do you think I can multiply both sides by? Okay? Jalen.
6 over 1.
6 over 1. 6 over 1. And then this is 6 over 1. 6 over 1 times 1, 6. Everything cancels, leaves you w. Now, 1 over 2, 6 over 1 is the same as 6. You can use your calculator. What's 102 times 6. Use your calculator. What you got, Caitlin? 612. Now, this one is probably not nearly as obvious. How do I know I'm right? Amanda, what would I do to see if I'm right?
Put 612 where W is.
Okay, let's do that. So I got 16W equals 102. Make this 16 times 612. Multiply that together, see if it does equal 102.
In your calculator, good habit to have is when you do check these and you have a fraction, put that fraction in parentheses like this, 1/6, and then you don't even need to hit multiplication. You can just put your 612 right there.
Now,
and we'll get it.
this calculator, I don't have that fraction button. You know, you have a fraction button, you can make it into a fraction. I can't do that. In order to use it, I just make it a division problem. So I do 102 times 6 divided by 1, like that. And that's how I get that number. Or if I'm going the other way, I'll do 1 divided by 6 times 612. And I don't even need that multiplication. 102.
You can punch it in on your calculator just like that.
All right, what about negative 3/5 x? This is important. This one's important. I'd like to have a little bit more room, so I'm going to put it over here. Negative 3/5 x equals 6. All right, what should I multiply by? What should I multiply by on this one? Okay, so if you got a fraction, flip it, multiply by the reciprocal. And that's called the reciprocal. Christian, what should I multiply by?
5/3.
Okay, go ahead and do that in your calculator. What is that? Did anybody get an error message? Okay, this is what happened. Now, that doesn't mean there's not an answer. Your calculator doesn't like what you put in there and it won't do it. And I really don't know why. But here's what happens. If you put a negative in the denominator, like if you enter a fraction and you put it in as 6 times 5 over negative 3, it's always going to give you an error message. For this one here, okay, you just need to know that the whole thing is negative. So you just need to make sure this negative does not have to go with the 3. You can keep the negative with the 5, and that's okay. Okay, it'll work. Now, you cannot put a negative in the denominator. It won't let you do that, especially with these TI-30s. TI-30. But go ahead and take 6 times negative 5/3 now and see what you get. Okay?
6 times negative 5.
What you got? Okay. Caleb, you bring your laptop.
That I am.
Connor, did you get it? You get an answer?
Yes. Negative 10.
Negative 10. Okay, let's go on the Wayback Machine. The Wayback Machine. They remember how to do this without your calculator? 6 times negative 5/3. Yeah, any ideas? Okay, huh?
Let me do like 6.
Josh?
This is what we're doing in seventh grade
You
math.
make you put 6 and then the line and then 1.
Okay, you make it 6 over 1, so there's a whole number, you make it 6 over 1, but then, how do I finish that, Josh, do you know?
And then you just multiply across.
Multiply straight across. So 6 times negative 5 is negative 30, 1 times 3 is 3, negative 30 divided by 3 is negative 10. So you can get around this problem, or you can do it without, I mean, the calculator obviously helps, and we're gonna recommend you do it, but it's helpful to have an idea what's going on so that you can see whether that answer makes sense to you. Okay? And to check it, because you don't know for sure whether it's right, you would take negative 3/5, okay, times 10, and it's gotta be negative, actually, I should be, well,
Negative.
it says -6, yeah, I need to make it -10. So I put in the wrong number, that's why I got that's how I can go back and check. And there it gives me 6. But yeah, you should have those skills that you learned way back, 7th grade. In 8th grade, you reviewed them. But yeah, your answer would be -10. This is the easiest way to do it. If you have a fraction in front of the number, flip it. Okay? If you have, and just pay attention to this, if you just have a constant, 3x equals 12, that's where you divide. Okay, so that's x equals 4. If you have a variable divided by a number, that's where you multiply both sides by that number. And so you get x equals 15. And if you have a fraction, then what do? Multiply by the flip of it, which is the reciprocal, 4/3. And 8 times 4/3, oh, that's not going to be a nice number. I'm just going to leave it as 32/3. Usually what Josh told me. 8 times 4 is 32, and 3 times 1 is 3. So we got that. So in some cases we divide, some cases we multiply. All right, now you have to be able to take words and create a sentence or a math sentence. So on your paper it says a number divided by -8 is blank. Put 12 in that blank. Okay, put 12 in that blank. Do not use the division symbol. Yes, we're not going to do that. So how do I write a number divided by -8 without using the division symbol?
X over -8.
Yep, x over -8 as a fraction. X divided by -8 means equals 12. Okay? A number divided by -8 is 12. Oh, she's back. That was quick. To solve that, what are we going to do? What do you got, Christian?
So you're gonna do 12 times -8.
Yep, now I'm going to ask you to say multiply both sides by -8. And some of you know you can do that, but that cancels that -8. 12 times -8. I don't even know what that is. Christian? 96. Big numbers. Big numbers. -96. Okay?
Fancy word.
We're getting up there.
Quotient's division, bro.
Quotient is little division. The quotient of a number in 5 is -120. Put in 120 in that blank. Quotient means divide. Quotient means divide. So write that as a fraction, the quotient of a number in 5. So x divided by 5 equals -120. Equals -120. Okay. Joe, what do you think I do here?
I haven't gotten that far.
Did you write this down yet? Okay.
Yeah. To be honest, I didn't.
Make sure you get that down. Jalen, you know what to do.
On the side, don't write 5.
Because what does that mean when I write it on the side? Does that mean I'm adding 5? What does it mean? You're multiplying by 5. Good. And so that cancels. -120 times 5 is negative. Nope, that's not right.
I didn't get this.
It's a negative 600?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Not the negative.
Okay. Write this down on your sheet there. Page 87 to 90. $21 to 43 odds. There was Morgan, it might have been you. When you go to do your write the problems down, like don't start writing like number one, write whatever the actual problem is. Was that you? Okay, so number 21, make sure you put 21. And then 23. And then 25. Okay. So that don't put down number one. Okay. That was you? Oh, okay, no, yeah, put down. Yeah, always put down the actual number. Jalen, come here.